Hare Krishna, the 36th shloka from the first chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Let's have a small recap of the previous shloka, right? So in the previous shloka, we see how Arjuna is explaining or conveying to Krishna that how there is no happiness or peace in winning this victory, in winning this war, and he's asking Krishna what pleasure will he derive from killing his family members and friends, right? So he's seeking the help from Krishna, and the following shloka, let's see what happens here. Papam evashrayed asman hatvaitan atat ayinah tasman narha vayam hantum dhartharashtran sabandhavan swajanam hi katham hatva sukhinah syam madhava. Sin will overcome us if we slay such aggressors. Therefore, it is not proper for us to kill the sons of Dhritarashtra and our friends. What should we gain, O Krishna, husband of the goddess of fortune, and how could we be happy by killing our own kinsmen? So here Arjuna once again says that what's the peace or what's the victory they get when they are about to kill their relatives and family, and it is not a proper thing to gain, and there's no gain in victory like this kind of wars, right? He's addressing Krishna as husband of the goddess of fortune, right? That is Lakshmi Devi. Let's read the purport to get a clear idea. According to the Vedic injunctions, there are 6 kinds of aggressors: a poison giver, one who sets fire to the house, one who attacks with deadly weapons, one who plunders riches, one who occupies another's land, and one who kidnaps a wife, right? So there are 6 things which are called as aggressors according to the Vedic injunctions. Such aggressors are at once to be killed, and no sin is incurred by killing such aggressors. Such killing of aggressors is quite befitting any ordinary man. But Arjuna was not an ordinary person. He was saintly by character, and therefore he wanted to deal with them in saintliness. This kind of saintliness, however, is not for a Kshatriya. Although a responsible man in the administration of a state is required to be saintly, he should not be cowardly. For example, Lord Rama was so saintly that people even now are anxious to live in the kingdom of Lord Rama, Ramarajya. But Lord Rama never showed any cowardice. Ravana was an aggressor against Rama because Ravana kidnapped Rama's wife, Sita. But Lord Rama gave him sufficient lessons, unparalleled in the history of the world. In Arjuna's case, however, one should consider the special type of aggressors, namely his own grandfather, own teacher, friends, sons, grandsons, etc. Because of them, Arjuna thought that he should not take the severe steps necessary against ordinary aggressors. Besides that, saintly persons are advised to forgive. Such injunctions for saintly persons are more important than any political emergency. Arjuna considered that rather than kill his own kinsmen for political reasons, it would be better to forgive them on grounds of religion and saintly behavior. He did not, therefore, consider such killing profitable simply for matter of temporary bodily happiness. After all, kingdoms and pleasures derived therefrom are not permanent, so why should he risk his life and eternal salvation by killing his own kinsman. Arjuna's addressing of Krishna as Madhava, or the husband of the goddess of fortune, is also significant in this connection. He wanted to point out to Krishna that as the husband of goddess of fortune, he should not induce Arjuna to take up a matter which would ultimately bring about misfortune. Krishna, however, never brings misfortune to anyone, to say nothing of his devotee. In this shloka, we see what are the 6 main aggressors according to the Vedic injunction, and how Arjuna was avoiding to kill these kind of aggressors, right? So we see the example of Rama also, Lord Rama, how he fought against Ravana, even though he was a saintly person. But Arjuna still was an ordinary man, and he was very saintly. But somewhere Arjuna had lost his duty or dharma of being a Kshatriya, right? So here it's also said that forgiving these kind of aggressors is not right, and we don't get any uh, papa by killing these aggressors. It is mentioned over here. So, and in the end, it's also said that the kingdoms and pleasures derived from bodily are not permanent. Right? This is also a significant line. And so he asked, why should he risk his life and eternal salvation by killing his own kinsman? Right? So he's also addressing Krishna as Madhava, or the husband of goddess of fortune, is also significant in this connection. To point out that Krishna, uh, as the husband of goddess of fortune, he should not let Arjuna take up a matter which would ultimately bring him about misfortune, right? But all the pure devotees of Krishna know that Krishna never brings misfortune to anyone, right? Because the goddess of fortune, that is Lakshmi, always stays with him, to say nothing of his devotees, right? So that's what the shloka meant. Stay connected for the further shlokas, and Hare Krishna.